Before Forza Horizon, before Project Gotham Racing, before the open world racing revolution of, well, now, there was Metropolis Street Racer, a game that didn't just ask you to drive fast, it asked you to drive well. This was 2000, the Sega Dreamcast era, when developers were experimenting wildly, but few were as bold or as punishing as Bizarre Creations' vision of the urban racer. Now, I've been wanting to cover the Project Gotham Racing series on my channel for a long time now, but we couldn't look at the Project Gotham Racing series without first looking at its dad, Metropolis Street Racer. So before we dive into the street racing, let's just go over a bit of history about this game. So Metropolis Street Racer was developed by Bizarre Creations, who of course would go on to develop the Project Gotham Racing series for Xbox. It was published by Sega and was exclusively released on the Dreamcast. Originally it was intended as a launch title, but due to delays it ended up coming out here in Europe in November of 2000, and in America in January of 2001. Supposedly a Japanese version was supposed to come out in February 2001, but was cancelled after Sega discontinued support for the console. Rest in peace. Let's get this out of the way right now. Metropolis Street Racer is not easy. It's not cheap hard, not broken AI hard, but the kind of hard that expects you to learn. It doesn't hold your hand, it doesn't rubber band you to victory, and it sure as hell doesn't shower you with medals for showing up. This is a game built on persistence, a steep learning curve that keeps climbing, rewarding those who master their craft. In an age where racing games were about speed, Metropolis Street Racer was really about control. It wanted to teach you the discipline of driving, not just the thrill. And yeah, it will bend you over and spank you, but when you finally nail that perfect lap, when you thread that 90-degree corner at a high speed side by side with other cars, it's a rush that few other racing games have actually managed to provide me. Now, before we go any further, if you're a fan of retro racing games, or just video games in general, then why not hit that subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications to stay up to date with my future uploads. And whilst you're at it, if you want to be the first to hear about upcoming projects or just come and chat about loads of cool games, then join my Discord server using the link in the description below. We also run occasional giveaways. Anyway, that's enough plugging the channel, let's go back to some Metropolis Street Racing. So the game didn't just want you to win, it wanted you to earn respect. Enter the Kudos system, the core of Metropolis Street Racer's identity, and the beginning of the identity of the Project Gotham Racing series as well. Every drift, clean overtake, and stylish maneuver gets you points. But if you're like me and you drive recklessly or hit walls, then you lose said points. The tagline said it best: it's not how fast you drive, it's how you drive fast. These Kudos points unlock new chapters, cars, and tracks, transforming the entire game into a performance-based progression loop. And here's where it gets interesting. You can even bet on your own performance, predict your placement, take risks, and double your rewards. Or, like me, lose a lot of rewards. It's a bold system that adds tension to every race, because suddenly, driving isn't just about speed, it's about style. For a genre that so often rewards brute force and, let's face it, corner cutting, Metropolis Street Racer's approach feels philosophical. It's teaching you patience, precision, and flair. Every car in Metropolis Street Racer is a new lesson, and to unlock each car, you have to actually beat a time trial on a specific map for it. Each one handles differently, unique weight, grip, and balance. The more you race with a car, the better you understand its unique quirks. How it accelerates out of a corner, how it responds to counter steering, when to brake, and when to let momentum carry you through. It's less about memorizing button inputs and more about feeling the car. And that's where Metropolis Street Racer shines. in those moments when everything clicks. You take a tight turn perfectly, you feel the tyres grip, you exit faster than ever before and set a new lap record. You're not just racing anymore, you are driving. Bizarre Creations nailed this balance between arcade fun and sim precision, a sweet spot between Ridge Racer and Gran Turismo. And while the difficulty would seem scary to many players, for those who stuck with it, it was one of the most rewarding driving experiences on any console. Now, if you were just driving the tracks by yourself, that would be one thing. But, of course, you're not alone on the road. The AI in Metropolis Street Racer is fierce. Not rubber band fast, but they feel aggressively human. They'll block you, force you into walls, and fight for their racing lines, somewhat like real drivers. It can feel frustrating at first, but that's kind of the point. These aren't just background cars, they're your rivals. They make you earn every victory. And even though their routes are scripted, their reactions feel dynamic, adapting to your position, responding just enough to keep things competitive. Every race feels like a genuine event, a small battle in the city streets. And you really do have to think when racing these guys, because if there's any contact with them, you will be the only one getting penalised. You will lose Kudos points for that. Now, speaking of city streets, Metropolis Street Racer takes you across 3 iconic cities: London, San Francisco, and Tokyo. Each one is meticulously modelled, based on real street layouts, and if you've ever visited those cities, you'll recognise corners, buildings, and routes. Apparently, Bizarre Creations actually sent staff to each city to capture tens of thousands of photographs and hours of video footage in every location, alongside sourcing detailed maps and getting aerial photographs, just to ensure a high level of accuracy and to secure the detail that they wanted in their tracks, which I think is very cool dedication. The downside to this though, the tracks can feel a little too rigid, too angular, and strangely, despite racing in San Francisco, you never get airborne. There's basically no jumps, which in my opinion is a missed opportunity for a game set in a city of hills. But then again, this is a more realistic driving experience, not an arcade cabinet. Still, the changing time of day, synced with your Dreamcast's internal clock, or let's face it, your emulator's internal clock, adds a layer of realism that was groundbreaking back then. It may not have been perfect, but it was ambitious, and it made every race feel alive in a way few racers managed at the time. Now, visually, Metropolis Street Racer isn't exactly the prettiest racer of all time, but the cityscapes, the car models, the sense of place, all of that carries a significant weight. It's stylish, it's clean, and it's immersive. Just not quite as sharp as fellow Dreamcast racer Ferrari F355 Challenge. But the soundtrack? Oh boy. It's quite rough. It's a strange mix of cheesy pop and country that honestly clashes very hard with the game's sleek urban vibe. Thankfully, you could make your own playlists, which was a cool feature at the time. But it's a shame the in-game music was this grating and uncomplimentary with the actual game. The car sounds, on the other hand, are solid. Roaring engines, tyre screeches, the sense of metal and momentum, it's all so spot on. It's just a shame that the music's so irritating. But, you know, just turn it off. Now, Metropolis Street Racer did include multiplayer. Honestly, it's fine, it's just standard split screen. I'm sure on the original hardware it probably suffered from some frame rate drops, but otherwise a solid time to play with a friend. Now, there was some kind of online functionality, but there was no actual online racing, it was just time trials and leaderboards. So it didn't really have that much staying power. But that single player mode, that's where the magic was. And its legacy, well, it's clear to see. Metropolis Street Racer laid the foundation for Project Gotham Racing, which became an Xbox flagship series. Its Kudos system, city design, and skill-based driving all evolved there. It's just a shame that we haven't seen the Kudos system make a return in recent years, but obviously with the company gone and the Project Gotham Racing series seemingly dead in the water, that's just how it goes. But without Metropolis Street Racer, in my opinion, modern racing games would really look very different. Now, in terms of critical response, Metropolis Street Racer received some very good reviews. It currently holds an 87 out of 100 score on Metacritic, putting it in the generally favourable bracket, with a user score of 8.3 out of 10. Now, unfortunately, those very strong review scores would not translate into very strong sales, with approximately 100,000 units sold in its lifetime. Now, this will be mostly down to the fact that the Dreamcast was discontinued not long after this, and it already wasn't the best-selling console on the market. So thankfully, at least Bizarre Creations' future racing series would go on to sell a lot more. So Metropolis Street Racer wasn't just another Dreamcast racer, it was the Dreamcast racer. It dared to challenge you, to frustrate you, but it made you earn your success. Sure, the graphics weren't perfect, and the soundtrack was downright bad, but when it came to pure driving, that feeling of absolute control, in my opinion, it's completely untouchable. It's basically a racing game for people who don't like racing games, because it wasn't about being fast, it was about being good. And so that's Metropolis Street Racer. If you haven't played this game before, I would highly recommend it. It's been one of my favourite games that I've covered on the channel. And honestly, I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to experience this sooner, or when I was younger. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe and tap that bell for notifications to stay up to date with my future uploads. A massive shout out to my Patreon subscribers for the continued support, and all I really have left to say is, bye bye.